Welcome back. This is Mojo Designs with episode 4. We're doing a Mother's Day card. So we are using this adorable Mamaelephant stamp set. I don't remember the name, but I will put it in the description box below. I don't know if you remember when Simon Says Stamp did their hurricane relief compassion donation boxes. I did donate, and this is in one of their boxes. That was sent to me, and it's a really cute set. There's a little boy and a little girl in the set, along with a ton of different floral images and foliage images as well. So I'm using this little girl because she reminds me of my granddaughter. So my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, I'm making this for her for Mother's Day. So I'm just stamping out several of the images, deciding which ones to pick out. I just think this is an adorable little stamp set. That little boy up there is so cute. I have a ton of Mamaelephant, Lawn Fawn, Simon Says Stamp, and My Favorite Things in my stash. And right now I must be on a Mamaelephant kick. I did want to mention that this weekend I am going to be putting up a minimal supply watercolor card making for Mother's Day. So I'm just going to be using a few colors of watercolor. They don't have to be artist grade. I don't have any Crayola watercolors, but I do have a Yarka student set that is really inexpensive. I think it was like $3. So it's right around the price range of the Crayola. I just want to show you that you really can use minimal supply. So we're going to be using one paintbrush, a cup of water, and we're going to be using this student Yarka set with a piece of watercolor paper. So very minimal. We can make a beautiful little card for all of our moms. So that's what my mom is going to be getting for Mother's Day. So I'm going to record me making her Mother's Day card. So that's going to be fun. So look forward. Hopefully I will have that up by Sunday, Monday at the very latest. I'm using sap green to paint the grass and the leaves. My finger was on wet paint, so I left a little bit of a fingerprint, but that's okay. I did try to cover it up, but I immediately went and put my finger down on the sky. Thank goodness no pigment transferred. So I'm using my all-time favorite, Quin Lilac. I've mentioned this many times. And then I mix the Quin Lilac with either Quin Gold or Indian Yellow. I love those two yellows, and it was whatever was on my palette. So I have a messy palette right now, and I'm using just to pick up to do this card. It is such a pretty, pretty color. The sap green that I used again is sap green by M. Graham. I absolutely love M. Graham paints. Daniel Smith, Core. I do have a few Winsor & Newton. They're not my favorite. They're just easily accessible. And it's usually the cost. So like a 5 milliliter tube, even if I use a coupon, because you can get them at Hobby Lobby and Michael's, they still run like $7 for a 5 milliliter tube when you use the coupon, depending on what pigment you choose. And the Core and the M. Graham and my Daniel Smith, I can get 15 milliliter tubes, sometimes for $10, $8. I try and get them on sale. So they're just more economical, and the pigment payoff to me is a little better. I always use my watercolors. I buy tubes and then I put them in my palette to let them dry. I just prefer not to have as many fillers. I find sometimes that in pans themselves, there's tons of fillers, which is fine. I just really want that bright pigment. On the tulips, I am using some lemon yellow, and we're just going to say that it's Quin Gold. And I'm using burnt umber for her hair. On her face, I did use raw sienna and a little bit of rose madder. To me, that makes the perfect light flesh tone color. Sandy Alnock has an amazing, she has a ton of watercolor classes over on her site if you look her up. I'll try and leave her link down below. I've taken a couple of her floral classes, but she has the human rainbow, and she does have a lot of her videos on YouTube where she uses watercolor and Copic markers. And her human rainbow, she uses so many awesome color undertones for her shadows, like the violet, and sometimes she'll use, well, the violet's the one that I remember, and some blues, which I haven't been that brave. So the shadow on her face is just a tiny, tiny bit of burnt sienna mixed in with the flesh tone color that I created. Now for the sky, no surprise, I'm going to use Amazonianite Genuine from Danielle Smith. It's my all-time favorite. And when I do skies, I love doing the wet on wet technique. So you see me here taking a clean wet brush, applying the water. I'm going over, you can see a little bit of the green bleeding. I wasn't too worried. I went over all the leaves and the stems. I didn't go over the flowers themselves, but I wasn't too worried about the green and the blue mixing together. I knew that there is so little pigment of the green that it wasn't really going to change the color of the Amazonianite Genuine. It's just the most beautiful teal blue color. So I'm going to put the most pigment down at the bottom, and then at the top I'm going to fade the pigment that I have on the paper up to the top so we get a nice gradient. So I'm going to haphazardly throw down color again for my clouds. I did want to say that we're coming to the end of the watercolor. I lost the footage of me actually making the card. I'm not even sure if I had the camera on. Yeah, rookie mistake. So I'm applying haphazardly the color to make my clouds, which is one of my most favorite ways to make clouds in watercolor. Then I'm going to be using the Wink of Stella. I had some issues with my Wink of Stella. So right up here, there you go, it just blopped. So I had shaken it before I started using it. I didn't even squeeze it, but the little glitter drops went everywhere. It was only supposed to be on the clouds, but here it ended up on the flowers, it ended up on her little dress, which is fine. We love the sparkle. Again, I'm sorry I don't have me making the card. The card base I did use was Soft Stone from Paper Train Ink, and I kept it very, very simple. I stamped Happy Mother's Day from an old stamp set that I have in my stash. Thank you for stopping by today. I hope you were inspired, and make sure to stop by Sunday or Monday. And thank you so much for watching.